First up today, Coach Jake.
Hi, Ron. Thanks, Colin. Yeah, a really good effort by the guys on Saturday. We defended hard and we rebounded hard, and knew we were going to have to, especially when it came to the rebounding aspect of the game. Wichita State does such a good job of getting rebounds at both ends of the floor, and it really propels them offensively when they're able to get the ball up on the backboards and get second and third chances. And our guys fought hard in that area and paid off for us. Important practice today. Missouri State is playing very well in conference play. Got a nice mix of 4 or 5 returning guys. Anthony Downing is one of the best guards in the league. And then they've got a group of freshmen that are playing very well for them. A couple of them that are in the starting lineup and have been for the majority of the year, and a couple others that have played good. So their coaching staff has done quite a job with them. They had a tough non-conference, and really because of their youth struggled in some areas during the non-conference play, and have come out in league play and played either won or been very competitive with everybody, and a real credit to their coaching staff and to their guys for sticking with it and coming together with as many freshmen as they're playing. And their young guys are really good. But like I said, Downing and some of the returners have played well also. So man-to-man defense for the most part from Missouri State, very hard-nosed. And then offensively, they've got some different actions, but they'll grind you and take their time and try to make you work at that end. But their calling card has been their defense and taking charges and diving on the floor, and so it's going to be another hard-fought game tomorrow. With that, I would take questions.
At this point in the season, you're seeing a lot of teams for a second time around. This will be the first time against Missouri State. Mm-hmm. How does that change the prep, get ready for tomorrow night?
I don't know that it changes it because we're this far along, and it's an area that our team has gotten better in terms of scouting report and being able to go into a game and work hard to take away the couple things that we deem as important from a coaching staff standpoint. I think we've had enough experiences with that now that even though it is a first time with Missouri State, that we should be okay from that standpoint.
You've probably seen them enough in scouting the other teams in the league.
Right.
At this point too.
Yeah, we have, and the guys wouldn't have seen them as much or paid as close of attention to them as we would from a coaching staff standpoint. But they do know how important it is to be able to watch the film, to be able, with our prep today, the 2 or 3 things that we feel like at both ends of the floor that we have to do. As I said, our guys have improved at being able to take that from practice to the game floor, and we're going to have to do that again tomorrow.
Incredible environment Saturday at the Plow Center.
Yeah.
Talk about what that does for the team. I mean, playing in that kind of atmosphere.
Yeah, to have a full house, and so much of it starts with the student section. The students were terrific, and they're the ones that change the energy in the building, and there isn't any way that I can put a point value on it. I don't know if it's worth 7 points or 9 points, or I don't know how many points it's worth. I don't know how many defensive stops or how many rebounds. You can't put a number on that. All I do know is that it changes and enhances the opportunity of our team, and when I say our fans, our students, our team will win in the basketball game. We're going to play better when we've got that kind of crowd in there, and the crowd deserves a lot of credit for the way in which we played on Saturday.
Did you need that kind of uplifting? I mean, from the energy from the crowd after a long road trip in Indiana and very heartbreaking?
No question, it helps regardless of situation. But coming off the week that we did, to be able to, for the guys to be able to run out just prior to tip for their last warm up there and see a full house, that changes, adds to their mentality, and certainly gives them a needed lift and a needed boost, and we're hopeful and looking forward to having those kinds of crowds here with the last couple games that we've got at home. We're playing good basketball, and as we saw on Saturday, guys are really fighting hard to do the right things, and we're going to play better when the place is full.
To find out your bracket buster opponent tonight, ESPN has said that this is the last year they're going to do that. You've talked in the past about how much you'd like that.
Right.
Would you like to see it continue maybe in a smaller scale?
I'm not sure what the what the best move would be from here. That there aren't enough teams right now to keep it in its current form. So I'm in favor, as much as we've liked it and as good as it's been for our program. I'm certainly in favor of the decision right now to do away with it. And I don't know if there is a next step. And I hope that there is. I hope there's something that's reasonable that works, and you've got the opportunity to get some high quality matchups later in the year. But I don't know exactly what that format might be. Anybody else?
Missouri State really struggled in their non-conference part of the schedule. What are they doing better now to be winning Valley games?
Well, I think very simply the experience. They're relying on a mix of guys. They've got 4 or 5 guys that are returners and played for them last year, and Downing being the one with the most experience. But then they've got a number of freshmen that are playing for them, and I think really that's the only reason, Gary, that they struggled in the non-conference part of the schedule, is because they were very young, and they were mixing and putting their group together with true freshmen. And right now, those true freshmen have got experience. They've played a lot of basketball at this point, and they're good players. The thing that once you win a game or two, and I talked about it with our team, your confidence improves, and when that happens, you play even harder. And Missouri State's a team that plays as hard as anybody in our league, and really fights you on every possession. So I think the experience, and even though they're still freshmen, now at least they have 20 games under their belt. And when it got started, you've got 3 or 4 freshmen in the mix, and they've got 0. And now they've got 20 games under their belt. They're playing good.
Speaking of playing hard, seems like your guys played harder, more aggressive in that Wichita State game. Is that something you've been kind of appealing to your guys, to be a little more aggressive and physical?
We knew we were going to have to on Saturday, especially in terms of rebounding. And I think the area where I feel like our confidence has grown and we've played harder starting 2.5, 3 weeks ago with a couple of the home wins, a couple of the bigger home wins we had. We've started to get closer to the playing as hard as you need to play all the time. I think on Saturday, one of the areas that really helped us was the end of possessions. In rebounding, we may not have gotten the rebound with 2 hands, but a guy tipped it, and then somebody came from a long ways away to go and track it down. And that's an area at both ends of the floor. That final part of the possession, we did better on Saturday, and we need to continue to do that. There's been times where we stood around a little too much, and that impacts your rebounding.
We in the media, even the fans, they played a what if game. What if we could have pulled off those 2 games at home, or what if we could have gotten those couple on the road? Those close losses. How do you keep your guys from playing that game in their head?
What I talked to him about last week was, and we watched the end of those games, and what I talked to the guys about was taking responsibility for the mistakes that we would have made or did make on those plays, and then get over it and move on, because the obvious, you can't have them back. The only thing it can do by continuing to think about it or letting it linger is affect how you play in the next game. And as hard as that is to do, I think it takes a much stronger mentality and a much stronger person to be able to take responsibility for it and then forget it and move on and get yourself ready for the next task at hand. And as I told the guys, it certainly doesn't mean you don't care. It's a lot easier to just pass it off and act like it didn't happen as opposed to taking responsibility for it and then forgetting about it and moving on and working hard to get prepared for the next practice or the next game. And I think that's why we were able to play well at Evansville and certainly why we were able to play well against Wichita. Yeah.
It was neat to see Marcus on his high school team there. What was the occasion? Were they playing in a tournament or something?
They played against Waverly earlier in the day, and they've done that. Coach Klingsporn has brought his team down for a number of years, and they do it. They make sure they do it when they've got one of their guys playing for us that's a senior. So they've done it a number of times, and he's during that senior year of one of our current players, one of their former players, they'll come down and play a game locally. This year it was Waverly. In the past it's been Cedar Falls. So they'll get a game in while they're here, and then they'll bring them all over to watch their former player. Yeah. Anybody else?
What did you think of the storm in the court thing by the fans at the end of the game? You like that?
I thought it was great. Yeah, I do. The guys, we played good, played hard, and fought them hard, and I thought it was great. Thank you.